Living in this new world means having a greater appreciation for our bodies and how they naturally work. We know there are currently a lot of contaminants in the food we eat. It is important not only to avoid these types of food, but also learn how to cleanse our bodies and remove these toxins. Ara Wiseman is a leading nutritional expert and aging well specialist based in Toronto, Canada. Sunny recently sat down with Ara to learn more about how proper nutrition can naturally help cleanse the body.
Today, we're talking about our bodies, and we know that through the course of eating and just being out in nature and things like that, sometimes toxins get into our body, and sometimes we need to cleanse this. But did you know you can actually do this with food? So, Ara is here to share more on that.
Yeah, thank you. So I always think about dark leafy greens and I also think about grasses. So
Okay.
having a lot of like barley grass juice powders and wheatgrass juice powders are they're just so good for us and you just put them
Hmm.
in your water and you drink that and you're getting it's actually taking something from you, like it's taking what your body doesn't need, but it's giving you something at the same time. So it's a
Okay.
win-win situation. I have a daily greens that I use all the time as well. It's just chock full of nutrients. The other thing is it's better not to eat so late in the day. So it's
Mm.
better if we have our lunch as the bigger meal because we really want to have less in the evening time and not eating too close to bedtime, right? It's
Okay.
very important. But one of the things that I do with a lot of the clients that I see is I always say to them, have one day a week to start off with where it's like a cleanse day. So your
Okay.
cleanse day can consist of having smoothies, really healthy smoothies with some, dark leafy greens in them. You can do that. You can also make yourself a big vegetable soup and have a vegetable soup during the day. You can also steam some sweet potato. It's
Mm.
lightening your load, eating a lot more fruit first thing on an empty stomach because fruit is more detoxifying. So fruit actually helps to sweep things like our intestinal tract and get stuff out of there. It increases your
Okay.
bowel movements, which is like amazing. It does so
Sure.
much for you. And just kind of like really cutting down on the amount of work your body has to do. Because when your body has a lot of work digesting, what happens is that it takes energy from you, right? So
Hmm.
the idea is to get more energy from your food as opposed to giving a lot of your energy away. So that's one of the things that I really, really love to do. And so, one day per week to start off with, and make sure that you're eating a lot of dark leafy greens and like a lot of spinach and a lot of, kale if you like kale and red kale. It's just so good for us.
Yeah.
Spinach actually helps with our telomeres, and our telomeres are those protective caps on the end of our DNA. They're kind of like those
Mm.
aglets on the end of your shoelace, that little
Oh,
plastic.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so basically, what happens is that over time, our telomeres shrink and then eventually the cell dies. So, spinach, interestingly, helps with telomeres. Broccoli sprouts, having lots of sprouts is also really good for us because they're so chock full of nutrients and they're so good for you. Like sunflower sprouts are amazing. The other thing I've been doing a lot of is chia seeds. So basically, what
Mm.
I do is I take chia seeds, I soak them in a mason jar, and when I'm making my smoothie in the morning, I pour some in, and chia seeds will bulk up your stool. And you're going to have
Mm.
those like high five, hit it out of the park bowel movements. And I always think about a cat that I had who unfortunately passed away, but he used to run around the house after he had a bowel movement because he was like super excited. And I feel like we need to do the same thing, because it's a real blessing to go to the bathroom, right? And not
Yeah.
everyone can. And so the more you can sort of detoxify by getting things out of your system, the better. The other part of that equation is rest, because when we truly relax, that's when our body can let go, right? So rest and detoxification, relaxation and detoxification are kind of one and the same. And a really good example of that is like when you go out of town and you've been super busy before you leave, all of a sudden you get sick. Or
Mm.
somebody's working their whole life and they retire and then all of a sudden they get sick. And so
Mm.
I kind of feel like, the more we can rest, the more our body will let go of what is no longer serving us. what we no longer need in our lives. And it makes a huge difference, and of course, once again, hydration, because I feel like everyone is, not really properly hydrated, and you need to flush things out, right? We need to do that. And then one other point to that is rebounding. I have a rebounder in my office, and it helps with our lymphatic system. So we're able to kind of like move up and down on it. And it really, really helps with that, because it helps to get more stuff out of your body, because our lymphatic system is kind of like our sewer system. So we need to get rid of all of that. And the best way to do that is by rebounding, hydrating, maybe some dry brushing, always towards your heart. And yoga is also very helpful for that.